ॐ दक्षिणास्य समारंभा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशव वामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुराः सुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let us continue with the 10th chapter. Now, as I told earlier, 10th chapter is what is describing the vibhutis or excellences of Ishvara. And Krishna feels that it is though he is the entire manifestation. Krishna is the entire manifest universe. Even then, because Arjuna wants to know whether there are certain very, very excellent things, exalted things in this universe, which can immediately remind a Vishwarupa Bhakta or a Virat Rupa Bhakta about, Ishvara. And so, randomly Bhagwan Krishna is actually giving or enumerating a lot of exalted things in the universe. And then we completed the 33rd verse last time. So now, since there is nothing much to summarize in what we have seen earlier, I'm going straight to the 34th verse where Lord Krishna is now continuing his glories. What he says now is in the 34th verse, he says, Mrityu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirti shrivakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti kshama. So what he's saying here is, see, I'm not only all the very positive things, exalted things that I have enumerated already, but I'm also manifesting in the form of death. I'm the Mrityu, I'm death. And who's this death? Sarvahara. That which can once for all in 1 minute, not even 1 minute, in one moment, everything that I call as mine and I is lost. Everything is lost in a second, in a moment. So whatever my body, not only my body, but also so many other things associated with it, they're all just lost. They're completely withdrawn within a matter of a moment. So sarvahara. So I may lose something sometime. I may lose my name. I may lose my fame. I may lose money. I may lose so many things. But that which completely in one moment, once for all, where everything is taken away, is nothing but death. So I manifest in the form of death when the prarabdha of a jiva is over and everything that is there has to be withdrawn. I am that mrityu. I am that death rupi. And death is not to be taken something as a negative thing, because death is the other, what other side of life. Without death, it's not possible for the Jagat to circulate itself, to manifest itself again and again. And he says, Udbhavasya bhavishyatam. I am the very beginning of what is to come. I am the very beginning of the future itself, because there are so many things yet to manifest. There are so many abhyudayas, good things yet to come. And I am the very beginning. I am the very source of all those beginnings, all the future that is yet to begin. And then he says, Nari nancha smritir medha dhritir kirti shri vakcha aham. Narinam here, we should not take it as women. We should take it as the Strilinga Shabdas. Nari here stands for, Narinam stands here for all the Strilinga Shabdas, or those words with feminine genders, who are actually, which are the words which give an exalted kind of an association with anybody. For example, Shri, Shriman. When we say Shriman or Shrimati, it adds something. It adds a kind of a glory to the person to whom this is added. Shri, Shriman. Then Kirti. Kirti is what? Again a feminine gender shabda, a word. And Kirti is that fame which a person gets by following very dharmic activities. So Kirti, again an Ikaranta, it is a Strilinga shabda. And then Vak, good words. Again, that also is a Bhushanam, is something which is of help and which adds on glory to anybody. Anybody associated with these glorious things. Smriti, the capacity to remember, the capacity to recollect, good memory, a photographic memory. These are also what? Ultimately, these and memory is a person who can remember everything. Suddenly he can think of anything. Whatever he has known, he can bring it into his memory. So this is what is called as the Smriti. Medha, Buddhi Shakti, the intelligence with which one can actually understand things, the way one can understand the yatharthyam of something. Medha, the Grahana Shakti, the capacity to understand. So Medhavan, Dhriti, Dhriti is the boldness, the commitment, and the perseverance to do something. So when somebody is of that nature, we say he's a Dhritiman. Dhritiman, Dhritimati, Smritiman, okay, Medhavan, Shriman, Kirtiman. So all these feminine gender words add glory by their mere association with any human being. So among these feminine gender words, I represent all these words which add glory to any person associated with them. And then he goes to the next verse. Brihat sama tatha samnam Gayatri chandasamaham Masanam margashirshoham Ritunam kusumakaraha. So, in the Samavedas, in the entire Samaveda, there are so many prakaranas, there are so many portions, and the most, the famous or the most well-known prakarana, or the well-known or the most sacred of the Samaveda, is what is called as the Brihat Sama. That portion which is called as Brihat Sama is the most sacred of the Samavedas, and Arjuna, I am Brihat Sama in the Samaveda. Gayatri Chandasamaham. Gayatri. Gayatri stands for one of the meters also. Gayatri stands for the name of a mantra also. So, as a mantra, Gayatri mantra is supposed to be the most exalted, the well-known and the most sacred of all the mantras, which is actually a Vatu is instructed into it at the time of Upanayana. He gets the adhikara to chant this Gayatri. And Gayatri mantra is supposed to be the very, what you call the, all the Vedas put together. All the Vedas condensed are supposed to be the Gayatri mantra. Om tat saviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yonah prachodayat. This is the Gayatri mantra. And then when we add bhuhu, bhuvaha, suvaha, They are called as Vyahritis, which only indicate the different Vedas, whereas all that the Vedas are saying is condensed into Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat, where there is a prayer to the Lord Sun Savita, where the prayer of the Vatu is to enlighten his intellect. It's a universal prayer. Dhiyo yo naha prachodayat. Let all our intellects be brightened, lightened up, so that we are able to absorb what is right. We are able to absorb the teaching of the Vedas. And this is the prayer whenever a person does Sandhya Vandana, which a small child of 8 years is initiated into. Gayatri also means it is one of the meters, a chandas, a meter in which many of the mantras are chanted. What is this Gayatri meter? Gayatri meter contains of 3 padas or 3 lines of 8 letters each. Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. So there are 8 letters in each line. Now in the first line, when we look at it, Tat Savitur Varenyam, you are finding only 7 letters. Okay, this is called as Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha. Our Gayatri mantra is in Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha. But then when actually the Gayatri Chandas is used, and when Gayatri is chanted for some other more, important kind of yajnas, yagas and exalted Vaidika karmas, then the first line of the Gayatri is chanted as Tat Savitur Vareniyam. So Tat Savitur Vareniyam, it becomes the 8 lettered line. So whatever it is, whether it is Nichrit Gayatri or whether it is Gayatri Chandaha, among all the meters, among all the Vedic meters, I am the most exalted meter, Gayatri Chandaha. And among all the Vedika mantras, I am the Gayatri Ruk. I am that Gayatri mantra which is the most sacred. Then he says, Masanam Margashirshoham. I am the Margashirsha Masa among all the Masas. What is Margashirsha Masa? December 15th to January 15th. And this Masa, we also call it as Dhanur Masa. Why is Margashirsha Masa so important? Why does Krishna say he is among all the months, I'm Margashirsha? Why does he say it? He says it because the reason why it is given is Margashirsha comes just before the harvest festival of Shankranti. And the entire Vasundhara, the entire Prithvi is full of phalam, dhana, dhanyadi. So there is so much of abundance of dhanyas and also the sasyas, the phalas. So there is an abundance of that waiting to be harvested. And the harvest festival that comes is what is called as Shankranti. So the entire Jagat, the entire Prithvi is full of samriddhi. There is subhiksha everywhere. Therefore, among the masas, among the months, I am the Margashirsha Masa. Also, it is said that Margashirsha Masa represents the Brahma Muhurta of the Devas. Brahma Muhurta. So that is why in this December 15th to January 15th, in this, Masa, in this Dhanur Masa, all the temples open at 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the Brahma Muhurta. All the pujas are done at that time, and the temples are closed by 7 o'clock. This entire month is supposed to represent the Brahma Muhurta for the Devas in Devaloka. Therefore, among all the masas, among all the months, the Margashirsha Masa, I am the well-known Marga. Rutunam Kusumakaraha. I am the spring in all the seasons. Because in spring, the flowers are blooming. Beautiful flowers are blooming. Therefore, he says, among all the ritus, among all the seasons, who am I? I am the Kusuma Karaha, Kusuma Akaraha, where there is abundance of blooming, blossomings, beautiful flowers. And I am that spring in which The nature is full of the beauty of various flowers. And next he comes and he says, Dhyutam chalayatam tejah tejasvinamaham jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvavatamaham. So, among all the activities which rob the intellect of a person, among all the activities which actually rob the discrimination of a person, I am the game of dice. Gambling, the game of dice. Who else is a better example than the very Dharmaputra, isn't it? The very reason for this war, Dharmaputra went, he was supposed to be having a weakness for the game of dice, for gambling, especially for the game of dice. And Duryodhana and Shakuni misused his, this love or this weakness for dice. And what did they do? Dharmaputra lost his discrimination to the extent that he literally pawned his own wife, his brothers, everything that he had. So, in all the activities which rob a person of his discrimination, who am I? He says, I am Dhyutam. I am the game of dice. And immediately he says, Tejaha Tejasvinamaham. I am the brilliance in all brilliant people. That brilliance which you have, if you are a brilliant person, don't think that that brilliance belongs to you. It is just a reflection of my brilliance, because I am the unlimited brilliance. I am the unlimited jnanam. And therefore, whatever you are having in the form of your limited brilliance is nothing but my glory. So, Tejaha Tejasvinamaham. Jayosmi Vyavasayosmi Sattvam Sattvatam Aham. Among all the people, those who are Sattva Pradhana individuals, among them that Sattvika Buddhi Ahamasmi. Ultimately, for my spiritual sadhana, for Moksha Purushartha, what do I require? What do I need? What I need is Sattva Guna Pradhana intellect. Sattva Guna Pradhana Buddhi is what I need. And what is happening here? I am that Sattva. I am that Sattva Guna Pradhana intellect, because of which a person is able to think, understand, and follow the path of Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, etc. to his Moksha Purushartha. So Sattvatam Sattvam Aham and Vyavasayosmi. I am the industriousness in everybody. I am that smartness in people who are very smart. Those who are committed and industrious and excellent in the work that they are doing, I am that excellence. I am that industriousness. I am that capacity in people to do whatever they are doing very well and beautifully. And Jayosmi. Who am I? I am the Jaya. I am the winning. I am that Jayaha means, in the victors, I am the victory. When people win, that victory is I. Okay, the victory that they are experiencing among victors, it is me. Aham Jayosmi. I am the victory in all the victors. That is why in Kenopanishad it is said that when the Deva army won against the Asuras, it seems the Devas were so arrogant that, oh, we have won this war against Asuras. And Ishvara had to come in the form of a Yaksha, and he had to really tell them, he had to make them understand, look, your victory is partly yours because you have put in your effort. But then understand that this victory, your victory, is nothing but my manifestation. So among the victors, I am victory. And in the next verse, he says, Vrishni Nam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjayah Muninapyaham Vyasaha Kavinamushana Kavihi. So, among the Vrishni Kula Udbhavas, Krishna belongs to the Vrishni Kula, Vrishni Vamsha. So, among all the people who are born in my Vamsha, Vrishni Vamsha, I am Varshneya Vasudeva. Vrishni Nam Vasudevosmi. I am the most exalted in the Vrishni Kula. Why is he talking about that? He's not only the avatara who has come here, born in the, Vrishni Kula, but so many things he has done. He's not only fought for maintaining dharma, at the same time, he has been a Jagat Guru also. Krishna could have taken the name of any other avatars, correct? But Krishna does not take the name of any other avatars, because it's only in Krishna avatara that Lord Krishna took the avatara as a Jagat Guru, as an avatara who taught this Jnanam, this Brahma Vidya, not only to Arjuna, but to the entire Jagat, being a Yogeshwara Krishna. Therefore, among all the avatars, among the Vrishni Kula born people, I am Vasudeva Krishna. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. And among all the Pandavas, hey Arjuna, you are my favorite. And I am you. Okay, I am Dhananjaya, or I am Arjuna among the Pandavas. I am you. Then Muninam api aham Vyasaha. Among all the seers, among all the munis, rishis, already has talked about the rishis Bhrigu. Here, among all the munis, I am Vyasaha. Why? Vyasa is not only the creator of Mahabharata, Vyasa is the compiler of this very Bhagavad Gita itself, isn't it? And not only that, Vyasa compiled and rearranged the entire Vedas into 4 Vedas so that it was easy to propagate, it was easy to understand and remember the Vedas. So he was not only a compiler and arranger of Vedas, he was the compiler of Mahabharata, he was the compiler of this wonderful knowledge that was given by Krishna to Arjuna. Not only that, he is the author of one of the most important of the Prasthanatrayas, Brahma Sutras. So just read the Prasthanatrayas. What is there? We have the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and Brahma Sutras. And Vyasa Muni is the author of 2 of these 3. He is the author of both the Smriti Granthas, a part of Prasthanatraya. Shruti, of course, nobody writes, it has come. It has come along with the creation. Therefore, what he's saying is, Kavinam api aham Vyasaha. I am that Krishna, Dvaipayana, Vyasamuni ahamasmi, Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Among the Kavis, I am Shukracharya, Daitya Guru or Asura Guru. Why is he talking about what is the meaning of Kavi? Krantadarshi. That means a person, a rishi, who can see beyond the present time, who can see in all 3 periods of time. Such a person, a Krantadarshi, is who is called as a Kavi. Kavi can mean many things. Kavi can mean a poet also. Kavi can mean a wise man also. But here, Kavi means the one who is capable of looking into the future, looking into the times which are not available for other people. So, I am among all these Krantadarshis. I am Shukracharya, Asura Guru. And he was supposed to be a great kind of a Krantadarshi. Of course, there are other stories about that. We need not go into it. Then, in the next of the glories, Lord says, Dando damayatam asmi, nitirasmi jigishatam, maunam chaivasmi guhyanam, jnanam jnanavatamaham. So what he says is, among all the, whatever is used to create discipline, all the processes, among all the processes which are used for, disciplining somebody, among them, I am the danda or punishment. So what are the 4 processes or 4 ways of disciplining somebody? It is called as sama, dana, bheda, danda. These are the 4 methods by which one can discipline somebody. And the first 3 are supposed to be where one tries to convince a person, one tries to kind of give examples of another person, one tries to bribe a person into doing things. But then if Nothing works. If the Sama, Dana, Bheda does not work, then the only thing left is Danda. Danda means what? Punishment. So, any amount of convincing or advising when it doesn't work, what helps is punishment. So, among the four methods of bringing discipline into anybody in any situation, I'm the dandaha, I'm the punishment, because that is what really brings what is necessary. Sometimes other than danda, nothing helps. Niti rasmi jigishatam, among the statesmen, among the kings, among people who are in power. Who am I? I'm the diplomacy. One has to be diplomatic when you're in a particular position. Whether you're a king or whether you're a statesman or whatever you may be, one has to be diplomatic in this. I'm the diplomacy in all these jigishatam, those who are in power, those who are powerful people, those who are rulers, statesmen, kings. I'm the diplomacy by which they're able to do a lot of things and see that their particular raja is ruled well. Then Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam. Okay, so I don't know whether I read it or not. Dando Damayatam Asmi Nitirasmi Jigishatam Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam Jnanam Jnanavatamaham. I think I forgot to read the verse. So, Maunam Chaiva Asmi Guhyanam. When there, among all the secrets, I'm the silence. Correct? Which is the most important secret? Silence. When I'm silent, nothing comes out. Therefore, among all the secrets, if I want to maintain any secret, what do I need to do? I have to be silent. So, among all the secrets, I'm the silence. Jnanam jnanavatamaham. Among all the knowledgeable people, who am I? I'm the very knowledge. This very knowledge, whatever kind of a knowledge it may be Atmajnanam, it may be any kind of a knowledge. That knowledge in any knowledgeable person is nothing but ultimately me. I manifest as the knowledge. I am the very nidhi, the repository of all kinds of knowledge. And then he says in the next verse, Yachapi sarva bhutanam bijam bhutam characharam. So now he's bringing an end to enumeration of all his individual glories, and he says, Yacha api, even more, hey Arjuna, sarva bhutanam bijam aham. I'm the existence in every jiva. How did he start his glories in the 20th verse? He says it, aham what? Hey Gudakesha Arjuna, I am that Atma, Aham Atma Gudakesha. He started with that. I am the consciousness in every being. I am that consciousness in every being. I am the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma in every Jiva. That is how he started. Now, how is he ending all his glories? He says, Aham Bijam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the very material cause, I am the very bijam of every jiva in the form of existence. Existence means what? When I say the tree is, that isness belongs to me. When I say the book is, the isness belongs to me. Therefore, the existence of everything, I am the very existence in everything. He started as I am the Atma, the consciousness in every being. And now he ends his glories by saying that I am the very existence. Because of me, everything is existing. In me, the entire Jagat is existing. All the names and forms exist because of me. Because I am existing, all the names and forms are existing. Na tadasti vina yat syat maya bhutam characharam. Without me, nothing can exist. I am the very basic presence or existence because of which the entire Nama Rupatmakam Jagat exists. Otherwise, nothing will exist without me. My existence is what is borrowed by the entire Jagat. Therefore, Arjuna, I am the very consciousness in every being. I am the very existence of the entire universe. At the same time, everywhere, wherever you see all these glories which I have enumerated, remind you of me. And then, hey Arjuna, look, whatever I have given you, whatever I have told you, in this kind of a war situation, whatever I am talking to you is just, I have, just chosen from here and there. And this is not the end of my glories. I can't keep on enumerating millions of glories that are manifesting. So many things are there which I am not able to really, you know, count. I myself have lost count. And all these glories are nothing but one small minuscule part of myself. And therefore, he says in the next verse, in the 40th verse, नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप येष तुद्देशतः प्रोक्तः विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया. So he says that na antosti mama divyanam. There is no end to my vibhutis. If I go on telling there is no end to this, Arjuna, there is no end to my vibhutis. Divyanam vibhutinam he parantapa mama vibhutinam na antaha asti. Endless are my vibhutis. Endless are my glories. It is not possible for me to enumerate all of them. Yeshaha tu uddeshataha proktaha. Purposely, uddeshataha, I have used or I have enumerated or counted very, very few of them. Vibhutehe vistaroho maya. Among, the widespread glories of mine, I had no other choice than to point out very few of them. So, hey Arjuna, I have deliberately pointed out and selected a few of them and I have given them to you. And then, how do you look at anything now? So, Arjuna, not only this, remember that whenever you see anything which is Vibhutimat, I might not have, counted that. But whenever you see anything which is very exalted, which makes you wonderstruck, with which you are awed, with which you are surprised, whenever you see anything like that, anything which stuns you, anything in the presence of which you feel dumb, in such a situation, hey Arjuna, think that it is my vibhuti. So in the 41st verse, he says, Yadyad vibhuti mattatvam Srimaddurjitameva va tattadevavagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. So hey Arjuna, Srimad Urjitam evava. Anything which is exalted, anything which you see which is out of, your, comprehension, out of the ordinary, anything which you see which is extraordinary, yadyad vibhuti mat, okay, sattvam. Whenever you see any of these which are exalted, which are extraordinary, think of them as my vibhuti. Srimad Urjitameva. Srimad Urjitameva va tattadyeva avagachatvam. May you know every one of them to be me. Mama teja amsha sambhavam. It is only one spark of my glories. It is one small, minuscule of all my glories. So whenever you see anything like that, hey Arjuna, understand that it is my Tejo Amsha Sambhavam. It is manifested out of one small Tejo Amsha of me. One small glorious Amsha of me it has manifested. So Look out for these things, Arjuna. Whenever you see anything like this, I'm there. I'm not only in on exalted and extraordinary things, I'm in the most ordinary things also. In every most ordinary thing that you see, I'm the very existence, I'm the very consciousness in everything. But then, whenever you see anything extraordinary, immediately let that remind you that it is my glory. It is eka amshena, one amsha, one small spark of my glory. But I cannot keep on telling you all those things. You'll have to learn to see me in everything, the most common thing also. At the same time, anything that is extraordinary is that which is coming from my extraordinary bhaga. It is my bhaga, it is my vibhuti, it is my glory which it is coming from. Then he says, Athava bahunaitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyahamidam kritsnam ekamshena sthito jagat. So, hey Arjuna, you can understand in another way. Athava bahuna yetena, you can understand me in this way. Kim jnatena tavarjuna, how else can you know me, Arjuna? Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam. Okay. I am pervading this entire universe. And this entire manifest universe, unmanifest universe, whatever is there, eka amshena stitaha. It is only one small part of me which is manifesting as the entire apara prakriti and the entire jagat. Then what am I? Who am I? I am ultimately that vast Anantam Paraprakriti. I am that Ananta Paraprakriti Aham. And whatever is the manifest Aparaprakriti of mine, unmanifest potential Aparaprakriti Jagat, it is nothing but a small Amsha. It is a small Amsha. Therefore, Arjuna, you can even think of me in this way. Which way? This entire Jagat, Kritsnam, Vishtabhyam Ahamidam Kritsnam, this entire Jagat is what? Is a small part of me, the imperishable, infinite consciousness. It's like a small bubble arising in a big ocean. One small bubble, one small wavelet which arises in the waters of the ocean. This entire universe is nothing but a small bubble which arises, exists for some time in me, and ultimately it disappears. And therefore, Arjuna, whatever here it is, I am that, but I am not limited to that. Don't think I'm limited only to this Jagat only. Don't think I'm limited only to these few glories which I, enumerated to you. No, I'm something much, much more than that. I'm imperishable, eternal, and something which is infinite. No finite mind can really understand me and absorb me. And whatever you see is only one amsha of me. There is something so much more, and that consciousness, existence that I am. How to know that? That I'm going to tell you from the 13th chapter onwards. But now, for Vishwarupa Darshana Bhaktas or Vishwarupa Bhaktas, Virat Rupa Bhaktas, they can see me in all these forms. Now, with this, the 10th chapter is completed where the vibhutis of Bhagavan were talked about. And since today it has not been a live class, from next class, I'll go to the 11th chapter, which is called as Vishwarupa Darshana. And therefore, we will formally conclude this chapter, 10th chapter. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayaha. Nandantu sadhaka sarve विनश्यन्तु विदूषकाः अवस्थाशाम्भवी मेस्तु प्रसन्नोऽस्तु गुरुः सदा सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखमाप्नुयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।